bringing you key insights, tips, and advice from the brightest minds in the Canadian franchise industry. This is the Franchise Canada Chats podcast. Welcome to the Franchise Canada Chats podcast, where we take you into the world of franchising. Our interviews are with franchisees, franchisors, and industry leaders who give on-the-pulse expert advice and share their franchising insights and experiences. I'm your host, Lauren. This is Season 3, Episode 2. In this episode, I talked to Rosemarie Reid-Julien, a Beyond the Classroom franchisee who owns a location in North Brampton, Ontario. Beyond the Classroom has been in business since 1998, and there are currently a dozen locations around Ontario. They offer online and in-home tutoring for students in grades JK to 12 for subjects including math, English, reading, writing, and French. Rosemarie recently celebrated her first anniversary with Beyond the Classroom. She joined the tutoring industry with 16 years of experience as a high school teacher and decided to become a franchisee to combine her love for teaching with a desire to become an entrepreneur. Here, Rosemarie shares how she uses an online tutoring platform to follow the social distancing protocols of COVID-19, what she enjoys most as a Beyond the Classroom franchisee, including working on her public speaking skills, her biggest inspiration and motivation, and much more. Enjoy the episode! So maybe to get started, can you tell me a bit about what you were doing before you turned to franchising and what drew you to franchising?
Okay, so I was working as a high school teacher. So I've been a high school teacher with the Toronto District School Board for approximately 16 years. And I was actually working as the head of student success. So I monitored students who were at risk. I implemented strategies to engage students who were most vulnerable. And I realized those who were most at risk often required one-on-one instruction, and that's what kind of led me to Beyond the Classroom. But anyway, I always considered entrepreneurship, and one night while on maternity leave, I began to explore how I could combine my love for teaching with my desire to be an entrepreneur. And I considered starting my own tutoring business from the ground up. But I then realized with 3 children at home and working full time, this would definitely prove to be a challenge. So I remember it was really late at night, it was past midnight, and I simply Googled tutoring franchise, and I came across several tutoring franchises, but the one that caught my attention was Beyond the Classroom. And I believe I came across it from the Franchise Canada website. And I sent a message to Kathy Thompson, founder of Beyond the Classroom, and the rest is history.
Okay, so what was it about Beyond the Classroom that attracted you?
Well, I selected Beyond the Classroom for a number of reasons. First off, the core values of the company resonated with me, and meet children where they are at, the importance of making a connection. So I see firsthand the effect that meeting a child where they are at has on a student, not putting work in front of a student that's too difficult at the moment, filling any gaps before moving on to the next curriculum expectation, and so on. So, and I'm also aware of the importance of instilling confidence and the belief in the growth mindset. And these are all the values that Beyond the Classroom lives by. And I believe in those values because, I've been actually implementing them in my day-to-day practice. So, I've been practicing them myself, and I've witnessed the effect that these practices have on students. And also, one other thing I'd like to say, it was quite clear to me that establishing a meaningful connection is an important value of Beyond the Classroom, because upon connecting with Kathy, she really did a good job of connecting with me by showing an interest in who I am as an individual. And I felt a comfort level prior to actually meeting her, which was just done by the way that she communicated through email. So she was very personable and supportive. And, initially I did delay my purchase of the franchise because of major changes taking place in my life at the time. But, she never pressured me to purchase. And one thing I mentioned to her right after signing was that I appreciated that she always kept in touch with me, but she never pressured me. So I guess you would say the reason, just to sum it up, I chose Beyond the Classroom because of their values and also the connection that I I established with founder.
Okay. And I believe she mentioned that you just finished your first year with Beyond the Classroom. Is that correct?
Yes, so we just celebrated our first anniversary and we had a promotion going. If you signed up by a certain date, you would receive the first 2 sessions free. So that was a promotion taking place and it went quite well. So yeah, we're looking forward to many more years to come.
Awesome. So what are some of the major challenges that you've faced with your business in this first year? Obviously, COVID would be probably a pretty big one, and how have you responded to those challenges?
Okay, well, yes, you are right. A major challenge that I faced was COVID. Inevitably, that led to a significant decrease in sales, in clients and sales. I was able to overcome those challenges through our online platform called the Lesson Space. So we were still able to offer tutoring virtually, which some families opted for. And I remember being quite grateful about not having any overhead to pay for. Actually, I'm still quite grateful for that. Because we offer in-home one-on-one customized tutoring, so we don't work from an actual center. So I don't think I would have been able to survive COVID if I had overhead to pay for. But one other challenge that I was facing prior to COVID was maybe just retaining tutors, because many of our tutors have recently graduated from university, from teachers college, and sometimes they move into getting a job with the school board or an LTO. So sometimes they may have to leave us. So I've come across some really great tutors and many of them have left, but then, there's always great ones coming in. So recently we made some really great hires. So I'm really excited about the fall coming up.
Awesome, great. And so, how do you stay current in the business? What kind of ongoing training and support does Beyond the Classroom provide?
Okay, well, I stay current by advertising, and I realize that the importance of constantly advertising the brand and the business. We also stay current by meeting the present needs of families. We're willing to adapt to new trends and needs where necessary. So, for example, with COVID, we can no longer go into families' homes. So we then moved over to our online platform. So it's also important to, establish connections with community business owners, and families by networking, consistently seeking opportunities to network and showcase the franchise. So one thing I've benefited from is the ongoing support that I receive from the franchisor, Kathy Thompson. And I'm aware that I would not receive as much one-on-one support if I had purchased a larger franchise. So Beyond the Classroom is a smaller franchise, but it has worked very well for me because of the close proximity that I have to the franchisor, and also from the other franchise owners who I'm constantly learning from. And we often bounce ideas off of each other. So we work together. So, and in regards to training, the initial training took place upon signing, and Kathy has also created a number of webinars that I've participated in. She always makes an effort to provide us with learning opportunities that pertain to our professional and personal growth.
And in terms of the communication with other franchisees, do you have, what kind of tools do you guys use to stay in touch with each other?
We have franchisee meetings a week or every other week, which are virtual. Prior to that, we were meeting in person every few months, and we just communicate through email.
Okay, so how would you describe your experience as a franchisee so far? What have you enjoyed the most?
Well, my experience so far has been great. I'm excited. I'm quite happy to be here. I'm constantly learning and developing skills. I'm increasing my awareness of marketing. I'm also engaging in a lot of public speaking, as I'm doing right now. And one reason why I decided to become a franchise owner is because I wanted to contribute to my community in a positive way, in a meaningful way. So as I mentioned earlier, I work for the TDSB and I live in the North Brampton area. So I wasn't really directly working with families and educators in the area in which I live and the area in which my children attend school. So this has allowed me to engage in Brampton and community life. And that's what, I find most rewarding, is making those connections with individuals.
Great. So how do you mentioned that you have 3 children. How do you balance kind of that role as a mother with the entrepreneurial franchisee role?
Yes, so I really have to pay attention to how I use my time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, okay, so during this time I'm at work, I try to be as resourceful at work and get as much done during the day at school as I possibly can. And I make sure that I have time to devote to my children, but uninterrupted one-on-one time. And, I'm quite lucky because I have a great support system. My mother helps me quite a bit in terms of taking care of my little one, and my husband's very supportive as well. So I have that help. I wouldn't have been able to do it without that strong support system.
Awesome. And how old are your children?
My youngest is 3. I also have a 6-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Oh, great.
So I'm quite, yes.
Yeah, it's a wide range.
Yes.
I have a 2-year-old, and that's a lot of work for me, so I can imagine.
It sure is.
3 would be quite a bit. And I guess the flexibility of being, a franchisee, and there's more flexibility as your own, I guess, business owner to kind of be able to help with that as well, I guess.
Yes, the flexibility helps. Also, and I just try to get as much done in regards to the franchise, usually in the evenings. I mean, now it's summertime, so I have more time on my hands to devote to the business, which is great. And that's a good thing about teaching, is that there are times when I do have time off, so it can allow me to focus a bit more.
Okay.
So overall, I've been able to manage my time well and devote a good amount of time to each area of my life.
Okay. And so was there anything you underestimated about business ownership before you became a franchisee?
Yeah, I would say that, the time that it takes to market a business. So a business isn't something that flourishes overnight. It requires a lot of attention, advertising in all areas, figuring out what forms of advertising work, because some forms of advertising work, some don't. So just, determining what's right for your brand and my service. So, and I also realized the importance of patience, that it takes time for things to grow. And I mean, even despite COVID, a year later, I think I'm in a really good position, right? Things would be a lot better without COVID, but I'm still quite grateful for where I am. Despite that, I'm still here, still going strong. So.
And so who or what is your biggest motivation or inspiration and motivation?
I would say my children definitely keep me motivated. I keep moving forward for them, and I've invested a lot into this. Not only am I doing this for my community, as I mentioned, but I'm doing it for them. I want to be a person that they are proud of, that they look up to, and I've realized that I put a lot into this, so I can't fail. Like, there's just, failure is not an option.
Okay. And so what would you say some of the benefits are of being a franchisee?
Well, yeah, the benefit would be, having a support system. So there are other franchisee owners in Beyond the Classroom. We have a great working relationship. We can bounce ideas off of each other and so on. So that's already been established, which is good. And also, what I also love, as I may have mentioned, is just, meeting other business owners in Brampton, learning about other community programs taking place in the city. These connections that I've made a lot of connections over the past year, and this has benefited myself and my family, and I've developed a lot of positive relationships with others, not only within Beyond the Classroom, but outside of Beyond the Classroom as well. So yeah, those are some of the things that, I love most. So if I could do it again, I would. I'm happy with the decision that I made.
Perfect. Good. Always good to hear. So what, if any, challenges have you faced as a female business owner, and why do you think it's important for women to get into franchising?
To be honest, I can't think of any challenges that I'm facing due to being a woman. I'm not saying that challenges don't exist. They obviously do exist,
Mhm.
but I mean, due to the nature of this work, um, that that isn't happening. If anyone has discriminated against me for that reason, that's unknown to me. So all of the franchise owners are women, so there's a
Okay.
low comfort level there. And then also many of the prospective clients that contact me are women. Many of them are mothers, and I can relate to them just being a mother
Mhm.
myself. So if anything, being a woman has benefited me in this job. I think that it's important for women to get into franchising because women are great business people. They're generally very empathetic. They have high emotional intelligence. They can read situations well. They're generally conscientious. And I think women know when and when not to take risks. So, as I say, they're cautious but confident. So, they can foresee any problems down the road and tread lightly, but they're not afraid to take a risk,
Mhm.
right? For me,
Yeah.
owning this franchise is a risk. I decided to take that risk. But before that, I actually did my research for 2 years. I thought about this for two
Okay.
years before moving forward, right?
So
Yeah.
you were sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I made sure that it was the right decision to make. And then, also women are nurturers. They tend to be nurturers. They're used to taking care of children and parents. And many of them want to just help people. So many of the franchise owners and the founder of the company often speak about the need to help families. That's why they're doing this, helping families, the importance of children getting the help that they need. And I think that if a business owner or a brand is known to be caring and, overall good person or good people, this translates into the brand being reputable. So more women should get involved in
Mhm.
franchising and just owning businesses in general. Just having control over
Mhm.
what you do and when you do it, because we know out there in the working world, it
Mhm.
often isn't fair. Women don't make as much money as men do. That's what the stats show.
Mhm.
So by being a business owner, you have more opportunities to have more control over what you make.
And so, what advice for success would you give to others who are considering franchising?
Number one, do your homework. Yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure there's a need for your service in your area. So, wherever it is that you choosing to begin your franchise, make sure there's a need for that service. And also you need to make sure that the people in your area can afford that service and that you yourself have considered all costs required. Um, and then also you need to think about who will support you. Who will you call for support? Will you have a support system professionally, like
Mhm.
me, other business owners, and and also in terms of family support, right? So you also need to consider your workload. Are you taking on too much? Can you handle it?
Okay. Yeah, so just more something I'm interested in knowing. So, it's obviously a pretty stressful time for everybody. What do you do to kind of help alleviate that stress? How do you unwind? What do you do that's kind of helping you get through this time right now where it's, a lot for everyone to take in?
I've been doing a lot of reading.
Mhm.
I've also been binge watching television shows on Netflix. I've been exercising. So those are
Awesome.
some things that I'm doing to, calm down and, because it is an uncertain time for most families with children going
Mhm.
back to school.
Mhm.
And here in the classroom, basically we are just supporting families in whatever choice that they make. So whether they are going back to school or they're homeschooling or they are doing remote learning, we're here to support you.
And so what are some of the things you've been reading or binge watching?
I binge watched Big Little Lies.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Also, Little Fires Everywhere.
You're on a big Reese Witherspoon kick, or?
And also, I watched I'm watching The Shy right now.
Cool. Yeah, I'm impressed that you have time to binge watch anything with 3 kids.
Right. Well, that usually happens late at night.
Yeah, yeah.
Not during the day. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
Though I would love to during the day, but no time for that.
All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to add or talk about?
Sure. Just, consider beyond the classroom this fall. We offer one-on-one in-home customized tutoring. We think about the whole child. So we understand that this is an uncertain time for many kids and many families, and we're here to help you and to meet your needs, whatever those needs may be. Our teachers are Ontario certified. They are devoted, dedicated, and they want your child to succeed. So yes, consider us. Those of you who live in the North Brampton area, give me a call.
Great. So thank you very much for speaking with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great being here.
Thanks for listening. For more franchising resources, including how-to articles, expert advice, franchisee success stories, and franchise opportunities, visit franchisecanada.online. You can also learn more about franchising at cfa.ca and can connect with specific franchise opportunities at lookforafranchise.ca.